What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about every version of a Rasengan used with chakra natures. Now really this is a video created all by myself. There's only 2 canon chakra nature Rasengans outside of Tail Beast Rasengans in the series. So I just wanted to make this about every single Rasengan because I was playing Jump Force the other day and I was like changing the effect of the Rasengan for my character, and I was like, wow, if only we had like different type of Rasengans that weren't Rasen Shurikens. And I said, you know what, let me make the video. So make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below when you've done all the things. Make sure you turn on notifications so you'll be updated when I post a new video. I've been trying to post more frequently, so hope you guys are enjoying that. And I actually have another video, podcast really, coming out soon. It was supposed to have been out like 3 days ago, but it's taking the longest to upload because it's that long. So hope you guys enjoy that when it does drop. I'll make sure to post when it do, and make sure to go to my other social medias like Twitter and Instagram, Smash King with 2 I's and Smash King _. The first for Instagram, the second for Twitter. I also have the same name for Instagram for my TikTok, Smash King with 2 I's. Make sure you go follow those, and let's get straight into the video. First, let's talk about what a Rasengan is. A Rasengan is a spherical, all-directional rotating ball of chakra that is condensed in one's palm. The amount of damage done is dependent on the amount of chakra one have and the effectiveness/skill in chakra control. When a high enough skilled user forms a Rasengan, they can make it range in size, and the bigger it becomes, the more devastating the damage and effects are of the Rasengan. The fire style Rasengan works similar to Amaterasu in how once the user infuses fire chakra into the Rasengan, it burns and catches fire. Like holding a fireball, once it hits an enemy, aside from the extra damage, it then burns the enemy and consumes the enemy's own chakra to stay burning the enemy until there's nothing left. But unlike Amaterasu, it can be put out with water or wind jutsus, or you can fully submerge yourself in water. If the user is strong enough, they can create a big fire Rasengan that can completely burn an enemy in a matter of seconds. The only downside to the fire Rasengan is it's not effective in the rain, as it will get put out in a matter of seconds. The water Rasengan. Once you infuse water chakra nature into the Rasengan, it takes on a watery texture with a whirlpool of water filling inside the Rasengan. The water Rasengan is one of the easiest Rasengans to turn into a giant Rasengan because while forming the Rasengan, it draws in surrounding water into the Rasengan. Also, if your opponent is injured, the Rasengan draws blood from the open wounds to add onto the Rasengan. This also drains the opponent of their chakra, although you can't pull this chakra from the Rasengan into yourself. It does add on more power to the Rasengan. You can control the absorbed water/blood of the Rasengan and stopping it from coming into the Rasengan if needed. When the water Rasengan makes contact with the opponent, it does extra damage than a normal Rasengan. How much is dependent on the water absorbed in the Rasengan. If the Rasengan covers the opponent's head or their full body, it can drown them if left inside. While the enemy stuck inside the giant Rasengan, movement is extremely slowed. This is one of the best Rasengans to use while enlarged. By manipulating wind nature chakra of the wind release Rasengan, Naruto was able to create 4 large points, causing the Rasengan to take on an appearance of a giant Fuma Shuriken. While the Rasengan is in the center, remaining a perfect spear, the technique gives off a loud screech, like noise during and after its formation. The Rasengan, later named the Rasengan Shuriken, creates countless microscopic wind blades that severely damage the body on a cellular level. The wind blades sever all nerve channels in the body, leaving the target unable to move after being struck. The wind blades also attack the entire chakra network circulatory system, which cannot be repaired by any form of medical ninjutsu whatsoever. Depending on the amount of damage, the victim may not be able to perform techniques ever again. Because the Rasengan Shuriken does cellular damage, throwing it is the best way of attacking because striking as if it's a normal Rasengan can lead to permanent damage to yourself. There are 2 other versions of the wind nature Rasengan. Konohamaru makes a Rasengan that is surrounded by an aura of air generated in large air currents, with its strength being capable of destroying a hill from a distance. And Boruto's is uniquely green in chakra and sports rings around the center spear, though his is incomplete. Boruto is able to throw it. To form an Earth Rasengan, you must hold your Rasengan towards the ground, infusing your Earth chakra nature into the Rasengan. An earthy core will form inside the Rasengan. This core acts like the Earth's core and pulls Earth from the ground into the Rasengan, making the core more and more dense. This will eventually make smaller rocks form rings around the Rasengan. The user can also create their own Earth in the Rasengan, although it takes more chakra and is less efficient than pulling Earth from the ground. When an Earth Rasengan makes contact with an enemy, the rocks fire out the Rasengan and from the rings on the Rasengan like a shotgun. The more dense the core, the more powerful the rocks fly out the Rasengan, along with the normal Rasengan damage. This makes the Earth Rasengan one of the most lethal Rasengans on impact. Forming a lightning Rasengan can be the trickiest out of the 5 basic chakra natures because it takes accurate chakra transformation and chakra control. The user must incorporate the right amount of lightning chakra to contain the lightning within the Rasengan like a plasma ball. This lightning Rasengan has the ability to fry and short-circuit chakra pathways and make it impossible to use any chakra, unlike the wind Rasengan. If an experienced user uses the lightning Rasengan, he or she can produce high voltages of lightning. It can even stop the flow of tail beast or nature chakra from being used on impact. There is also a weaker version of the lightning Rasengan created by Boruto. After creating a small Rasengan, Boruto subconsciously adds lightning release to it before throwing it. As it glides, the nature transformation abruptly kicks in, resulting in a technique that disappears from sight. This adds an element of surprise to the attack, as an opponent may lower their guard assuming that the technique has dispersed, only to find themselves struck by the invisible attack. The size of Boruto's vanishing Rasengan has seen a significant increase after the Mugen Bandix art. Hope I didn't butcher that name, but I know I probably did. When it was shown to be around the size of a regular Rasengan. With enough chakra added to it, the Rasengan can become giant. There's also a derivative version of the lightning Rasengan. The Chidori was created by Kakashi after he failed to apply his lightning nature to the Rasengan. To perform, the user first gathers lightning to their hand. A high concentration of electricity produces a sound reminiscent of many birds chirping, hence the name. The lightning chakra has been shown on occasions to damage the user's hand, peeling the skin and causing it to smolder slightly, but this does not appear to actually be debilitating to the user. The speed at which the Chidori is performed, despite being one of the greatest assets, also represents one of the biggest drawbacks. Users move at the target so fast that it causes a tunnel vision effect. However, a user of the Sharingan can overcome these drawbacks due to its heightened visual perception, preventing the tunnel vision from occurring. Now, onto the Kekkei Rasengans. These are Rasengans that are composed of 2 or 3 chakra natures. This will be containing Kekketora and Kekkemora chakra natures. A technique that is available to Naruto after inheriting the Sage of Six Paths powers. By combining his Rasengan with Shikaku's magnet release to reinforce its suction power, he creates a Rasengan with the beast's curse seal markings. He then smashes the spear into his opponents in the same manner as a normal Rasengan. Upon being struck with the technique, the markings quickly spread across the target's body, immobilizing them. A wood-style Rasengan is the combination of water and earth chakra natures. When creating a wood Rasengan, the user starts by making a rocky core, then adds water. This process happens almost instantaneously, and the Rasengan starts to have a greenish glow. When the opponent gets struck by a wood Rasengan, roots start to wrap around the opponent from the impact area, and once the roots fully encase the opponent, it will start to leach chakra from the opponent and can be transferred to the user by absorbing the sap-filled chakra from a flower from the roots. The wood Rasengan also siphons nature and tail beast chakra to the user from the sap. This is the only Rasengan that can give chakra from the enemy to the user or an ally, making this the ultimate offensive and healing jutsu. The lava style Rasengan is the combination of fire and earth chakra natures. The lava Rasengan shares some qualities, but is different from its parent jutsus. It's formed by adding earth nature chakra. The core then forms, drawing earth to the Rasengan, just like an earth Rasengan. Then the fire nature is infused and the rocks heat up, glowing orange in color and melting into lava. The lava Rasengan is much like a bubble, that when the lava Rasengan makes contact, it bursts much like a water balloon. The lava Rasengan can melt almost everything in its path. It can even melt through a Susanoo at its skeletal stage. Someone who perfected their usage of the lava Rasengan can even melt through a perfect Susanoo, though it would take an incredible amount of chakra and skill to reach that level. The lava Rasengan is one of the best Rasengans when it comes to breaking through someone's defenses. Now, Blaze style is technically Amaterasu, so it should be called the Amaterasu Rasengan and can only be used by Itachi, Sasuke, or Indra with their immense Sharingan abilities. For the Blaze Rasengan version, we'll be saying it's a Kekkei made up of fire and lightning chakra natures. That is the widely accepted combination if it was a Kekkei that one could use. So, a Blaze Rasengan works exactly like Amaterasu, with the added damage from being a Rasengan. It will burn whatever it comes in contact with. By using Sage or Six Path Jutsus, the effects of the burning can be removed off whatever it is burning. Although this will not put out the flames, it just allows the user to move the flames. The only way for the flames to be put out is if whatever it is burning is completely burned out, or if the user of the Blaze Rasengan puts out the flames themselves. Sand style is a combination of earth and wind nature chakra, and the Sand Rasengan works exactly like an earth Rasengan, but instead of pulling earth into the Rasengan, it particularizes earth down into sand. So when it explodes on impact, it fires sand instead of rocks, so it is more damaging and dangerous to defensive jutsus than the earth Rasengan. Scorch style is the combination of wind and fire chakra natures. Unlike the blaze chakra nature, a scorch style Rasengan will instantly evaporate any moisture in the air around the Rasengan and can evaporate any liquid it comes in contact with. So when the enemy is hit with a scorch style Rasengan, the blood in the person's body will instantly evaporate. Though depending on the chakra the enemy uses for defense will determine how slow the evaporation will be, but ultimately this is a very deadly jutsu. Boil style is the combination of water and fire chakra natures and works very similar to lava style, but not as effective. A boil style Rasengan can melt through the rib cage of a Susanoo, but finds difficulty when the Susanoo is in its skeletal stage, as the chakra is too powerful for the boil Rasengan. A master user of the boil Rasengan can melt through a muscular Susanoo, though it ends there, but unlike the previous Rasengans, this Rasengan can change its effect when in contact with a target. Instead of being acidic and damaging, it can boil the chakra of a target, and in return boosts the strength, speed, and effectiveness of the target. This makes it the only Rasengan on the list to have two different effects. Ice style is the combination of wind and water nature chakras. When forming an ice style Rasengan, the user infuses water chakra into the Rasengan. Then, when the user infuses wind chakra, the Rasengan reaches extremely cold temperatures and glows a bright light blue color. Once the ice Rasengan makes contact with an enemy, it damages and encases the enemy in ice. Not only does this freezes the enemy, but also freezes the enemy's chakra flow, making them impossible to move or use chakra while inside the ice. The more adept the user is with ice chakra, the colder the ice Rasengan effects will be. The only ways of melting the ice that encases someone hit with the ice Rasengan are with Scorch, Lava, Boil, or Blaze release, which is Amaterasu, or with high temperature nature jutsus / Sage jutsus. Although I named chakra natures that can melt through the ice, if the user of the ice Rasengan is stronger than the users trying to melt the ice, then the ice will be hard regardless the chakra nature that's trying to melt it. Storm style is the combination of water and lightning chakra natures. Though the name and parent natures indicate the use of thunderstorms, this is not the case, although the Rasengan would be the closest to that. When the Storm Rasengan is formed, it looks exactly like the Lightning Rasengan, but the color is more of a dark purple. When an enemy is struck with a Storm Rasengan, their chakra network doesn't just get short-circuited, but it also makes their chakra fire out of their body like lightning bolts and can hit surrounding enemies with the force of a Chidori stream, and this makes it the only Rasengan that can strike multiple enemies without being enlarged outside of the Wind Rasengan. Explosion Nature Chakra is the combination of lightning and earth chakra. When an explosion Rasengan forms, orange chakra sparks from the Rasengan, and when the explosion Rasengan hits an enemy, it doesn't just damage the user externally, but internally as well. It makes the enemy's chakra network explode, and if the user doesn't have a high chakra defense, it is fatal, and even a high chakra defense wouldn't be enough to protect from the internal damage that can lead to permanent chakra network damage. Dust style is the only canon Kekkei Tora in both Naruto and Boruto. It comprises of wind, earth, and fire chakra natures. A dust Rasengan, which would be named Particle Rasengan, is among the most deadly, if not the most deadly, Rasengans a normal shinobi can use. When the Particle Rasengan is formed, it turns white, with a bright light in the center of the Rasengan. Typically, particle-style jutsus take extremely high amounts of chakra to use, so it is typically used 1 to 3 times in a fight, though when used in a Rasengan makes it less chakra replenishing. Its small size doesn't take away from its effect to destroy anything on a molecular scale. It can destroy anything on contact, and even a perfect Susanoo will stand no chance against a particle Rasengan. This does make the particle Rasengan the most chakra replenishing to use, and can be used at max 5 to 10 times, depending on the chakra levels of the user. For example, Teen Naruto without Kurama's chakra can use the particle Rasengan 5 to 8 times. When someone like pre-War Arc Kakashi uses it, it can be used 3 to 5 times. Sakura or Tsunade can use the particle Rasengan up to 10 or more times with their 100 seals. Ink-style jutsus only come from Gyuki, the 8-tailed beast, so only a Jinchuriki of the 8 tails or Naruto can use this Rasengan. An ink Rasengan looks exactly like a water Rasengan but black. When an ink Rasengan makes contact with an enemy, outside of the damage it does, it splatters, leaving the ink on the enemy, and it cannot be removed without water chakra jutsus. And if it gets into the eyes of the enemy, it can blind the enemy and could be permanent if not removed. Also, Sai and Inogen can use the Ink Rasengan with the Super Beast Scroll. The crystal nature is a combination of earth, lightning, and water nature chakras, making this a Kekkei Tota. The crystal Rasengan works exactly like the ice Rasengan, but much stronger. When a crystal Rasengan is formed, it glows a bright pink, and when the enemy is encased in crystal from the Rasengan, the crystal Rasengan uses the chakra from the enemy to grow and get stronger. The crystal can only be destroyed by explosion chakra jutsus or destroyed by someone extremely strong like 100 Seal Tsunade or Sakura, Naruto at near maximum strength, or Sasuke with a muscular Susanoo. Now, technically, we don't truly know if Shadow Style is a jutsu made from Yin Chakra nature alone, or if Shadow Style is a combination of using Yin Chakra nature with a Shadow nature. I do know that Yin nature allows a user to manipulate the non-physical world, which is like souls, shadows, light, and so on. But since it has not been completely truly flushed out, at least not to my knowledge, I'm just going to say for the sake of this video, Shadow Style is its own chakra nature. Although it is its own chakra nature for this video, it can still only be used by the Nara clan. A Shadow Rasengan is the only Rasengan that can deal damage to an enemy without making physical contact. A Shadow Rasengan, when formed, looks like a shadow ball chakra and can strike an enemy shadow to deal damage to the user. It cannot be blocked as long as the user has a shadow. It can also lock the enemy in place with the Rasengan still in the user's hand. Like said previously, only shinobi from the Nara clan can use the Shadow Rasengan, seeing as they're the only shinobi that knows how to use shadow jutsus. Yin release is a nature separate from the 5 main chakra natures. When a Yin Rasengan is formed, it looks no different from a normal Rasengan, but the properties of the Rasengan changes. When a Yin Rasengan makes contact with an enemy, it locks the enemy's soul in place, keeping them from moving. This is like a genjutsu, but the enemy is still conscious. They just can't speak or move, but can still hear or see their surroundings. Once the enemy is put in this state from the Yin Rasengan, they cannot be broken out of it unless the user releases them. Yin release can create soul/spiritual forms when a Sharingan user uses a Yin Rasengan. The properties changes again. Instead of locking the enemy in a conscious genjutsu state, the enemy when hit with the Yin Rasengan gets stuck in a very powerful genjutsu that is impossible to break out of even with outside help. And if the user has an MS or EMS, the genjutsu is even stronger. A user with a Rinnegan can use a Yin Rasengan as well with a more powerful genjutsu than the EMS user. The only possibility of escaping a Yin Rasengan is if the target has, or if the user of a Sharingan, Rinnegan, or a very high master of genjutsu breaks the Yin Rasengan's effect. It would still be very difficult to accomplish this, and because of that, the Yin Rasengan is the most powerful in terms of trapping its opponents. Yin Rasengans can only be used by one that has a true mastery affinity over Yin chakra nature. Someone like Sasuke is a prime example. Yang release is outside the 5 main chakra natures. It's the opposite of Yin release. A Yang Rasengan looks exactly like a normal Rasengan, but with the properties changed. If a Yang Rasengan hits an enemy, anything the Yang Rasengan makes contact with will come to life and restrain the enemy. Most of the time, it's the enemy's clothing or weapons. The living, inanimate creatures cannot be killed. They only go back to the way they were if the user deactivates them. If the user of the Yang Rasengan has a Byakugan, the user can augment the enemy's body and make it stay still or do commands. Yang release changes and creates matter. If a Tentagon wielder uses a Yang Rasengan, the augmentation is enhanced. The user can now fuse the enemy's body to an inanimate object. The effects of a Yang Rasengan can only be reversed with extreme high mastery in medical ninjutsu, or if a user of the Tentagon or Byakugan tries to reverse the effects. Even so, this is still an extremely hard thing to do, so this makes it another extremely hard Rasengan effect to break free from. I know technically there hasn't been a Yuga that has been confirmed a Yang user, but I see the Byakugan as a Yang to the Sharingan's Yin, so for the sake of balance, this is what I've decided to do for the Yang Rasengan. Last but not least, the Yin-Yang Rasengan. Yin-Yang may sound like it's just a combination of Yin and Yang chakra natures, but it's actually a separate nature and the original nature to all chakra natures. Like the Yin and Yang Rasengans, when the Yin-Yang Rasengan is formed, it looks exactly like a normal Rasengan, but glows extremely brighter. When it strikes an enemy, it can completely wipe the enemy's body and soul away on impact, or completely change the body and soul into something or someone new. The Yin-Yang Rasengan cannot be blocked in any way, and the only users that can form a Yin-Yang Rasengan are Asura, Hagoromo, Hamura, Kaguya, Madara in his Jubi form, Obito in his Jubi form, anyone who's a 10-tailed Jinchuriki, and Naruto after receiving chakra from Hagoromo. And there we go. My voice is weak, and you could probably tell from the beginning to the end the changes in my voice and the amount of cuts I had to do just to get something to drink. This is my first time doing this type of video, so I'm kind of unexperienced outside of my podcast where I could just talk regularly. I had to actually write each one of these Rasengans outside of the ones I had to look up that were already made. But ultimately, I had fun making this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want a part 2, I did find there's way more chakra natures that are completely not canon, but are still worth making a video on. And I can also make a video on Tail Beast Rasengans outside of Rasen Shuriken conversions, if you are interested in that too. So again, if you guys like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and comment what you find about the video that you like the best, which Rasengan was your favorite, and any information I left out, because I did try my best to make sure I didn't leave anything out for the nature chakras, but I probably did. And I know I butchered a whole bunch of names and words, but sorry about that. I'm not the best, but I'm going to try to get better. Also, make sure to check out my book, The Cross Book 1, out on Amazon by Dominique Woodard. I will have book 2 coming soon, but I have no confirmed due date. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a nice day. And I know people are going to probably say, why didn't I talk about a tail beast Rasengan? But do I really have to explain why I didn't talk about a tail beast Rasengan?